Welcome back. This is Henry Monshine, your education librarian. We're talking about conducting a literature review, and this time we're going to take a look at another database that will help you find additional literature for your topic. So you can follow along with me. We're going to look at the SCOPUS database, and let me show you how to find it. If you're at the Cal Lutheran homepage, you can go to Academics, Pearson Library, and from here, this time let's go to the databases link, and let's go to S and look for SCOPUS. And here we are, so I'm going to sign in again. Okay, so SCOPUS is a different kind of database, unlike the EBSCOhost databases that we looked at earlier. This one doesn't feature full text. However, it will help you find cited articles, and that's very important. There's a technique that I wanted to introduce you to called citation pearl growing, and basically what it means is once if you find a citation that's relevant to your topic, it may lead you to other citations and other papers. So this database is very good for that process, for finding, again, those salient articles. So let's take a look at the example we used again. We'll look at classroom management and special education. So first of all, let's say we're interested in doing a literature review on classroom management techniques just in general. So one way we can do that here, we'll just type in our keywords. So I'm going to enter classroom management and special education. And this time we could try searching for those words in the titles of articles. So I'm going to try article title and then hit the search button. And a couple articles come up, and you'll notice that these are cited by other writers. Now one thing you'll notice, there are different ways you could sort these. It defaults to sorting by relevance. But the other thing that we'll take a look at is you can sort them by date and sort them by the oldest article. And I'll show you why that's helpful. So here's an article that looks promising: Special Education Teacher Preparation and Classroom Management, Implications for Students with Emotional and Behavioral Disorders. And you'll notice it's cited 22 times. So if we click on the cited articles, this will possibly lead you to some additional articles. And again, we can sort these by date. And let's get the oldest first. The reason I'm sorting them by the oldest is because sometimes those have the most citations. So what I'm looking at is seeing how many times these articles have been cited. Not very many. So what we'd like to do is find an example where an article has been cited many times, like 20, 30, 40, 100 times. That's a clue that that's an important article. So we'll try, let's look at the next one. And this has been cited 22 times. And let's see if anything jumps out at us. I think this is the one we looked at earlier. Let's look at the one that's cited 11 times. Okay, here's a couple. Here's one that's cited 12 times. Here's one that's cited 15 times. And then if we scroll down, there's one that's cited 58 times. So that may be a pertinent article. And it's entitled Teacher Behavior and Student Outcomes, Suggestions for Research on Teacher Training and Professional Development. So again, we can look at those cited articles and see if that leads us to any other possible articles of interest. And again, we could sort these by the date again. And here's another one that's cited 31 times. So this is how the Scopus database can help you. It can help you find, again, what's called the seminal articles, the ones that have been cited a lot, the ones that have been involved in the development of a theory or a practice. And again, typically if something has been cited many times, that's a good sign that it's an important piece of work. Let's try a different search. This time, let's look for articles about classroom management in general. So we've looked at classroom management and special education. So I'm going to hit search, and I'm just going to change the search parameters a little bit. Why don't we add, instead of special education, we'll say classroom management and literature review. And again, we can search for those words in the article title, or we can just expand and just say all fields or article title, abstract, and keywords. Okay, so we have a number of articles, and again, these are sorted by date, so we can see some old publications. And here is one that has been cited 132 times. So that must be important. And you can take a look at the articles by just clicking on the title, and you can read the abstract. And you can see that this paper is a meta-review and synthesis of research. So that might be a good article to include in your own literature review. So once again, you can look at the 132 articles that have cited this paper, and it starts with 2016. We can again sort them going back to the oldest articles, and I see some other articles that have been cited. Here's one that's 181 times, 92 times. Now these may not be exactly related to your topic. It looks like some of these are branching out into some other areas that deal with classroom management. This one looks interesting. Teacher-student interaction in urban at-risk classrooms, differential behavior, relationship quality, and student satisfaction with school. This was published in 1999, cited 138 times. So again, this may lead you to further research. So this is, again, an example of this citation pearl growing technique. This database is the only one that really can do that. As you can see, it's very easy to navigate from a citation to the cited sources and keep digging deeper into the literature. My recommendation in using it, if you're finding some good articles that you'd like to include in your research, you might copy the titles of the articles and search them in the EBSCOhost databases, and that way you'll have access to the full text. These will not give you the full text normally. It does say full text, find full text here. This may link you to the tool that we looked at earlier, the link resolver, but I don't see it doing that. So again, that would be the best approach, is make note of the articles that you're interested in and then look them up in the other database. This also is an example of why it's important to go back further than 10 years sometimes, because some of those seminal works may have appeared a lot earlier than 10 years ago. So in this case, these are from the 1990s. Some might be decades earlier as well. So this is my overview of the SCOPUS database, and I hope you will add it to your arsenal of databases as you pursue your literature reviews. and literature searches. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to work with you individually. Thank you for tuning in again. Have a great day.